Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
Last night, the Halos bats broke through with an 8-run seventh inning, capped off with Albert Pujols' first grand slam in an Angels uniform as the Angels went on for the victory. Today, Jared Weaver takes them out as the Halos look to make it 3 in a row. Angels and Athletics next. Gorgeous afternoon for baseball here in Oakland. The Angels taking game 1 of the series last night in grand fashion, coming back from 5 runs down to pick up the victory. Today it is game number 2. We welcome you inside the O.co Coliseum and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and we just showed you Albert Pujols and his grand slam. And I tell you what, you look back at that inning yesterday, the way it played out. He was the 8th man to bat in the inning. So there was a lot of table setters to get to that point.
Yeah, Victor, that game was a lot of fun last night. Albert Pujols certainly was the big favorite winner there at the end there. Take a look at our AT&T Ubers rewind with the bases loaded. Albert Mojica makes a mistake, and Albert does not miss that one. That baseball was hit so hard, we were thinking from up in our booth that ball had a chance of maybe going foul, but off the wall, and almost took out Zobrist coming back. His first career grand slam as an Angel, 13th of his career, 12 home runs in his last 21 games for Pujols. He's not striking out. He's making great contact. And when you make a mistake as a pitcher against Pujols right now, this baseball is going to be covered. And he's been crushing the ball so well right now.
That's 2 games in a row in which the Angels offense has come to life. We'll see what they have in store this afternoon with Jesse Hahn on the mound for the Oakland Athletics. Jared Weaver on the hill for the Angels. The Halos keep swinging the bats. That's a good sign. We'll have the lineups in the first pitch when we return. A beautiful day here in the Bay Area. The Angels trying to make it 2 in a row against the Oakland Athletics, 3 in a row overall. I want to remind you of today's game. We are participating in the Home Run Challenge today. Every Angels home run in this game raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. And last night it was $12,500, and it was big ones too, because it should have counted 4 times that because of the grand slam by Albert.
As hard as that was hit, and I think the wall is still in trouble out there in left field as hard as it hit the wall.
Check out Mike Scioscia's starting lineup for the Angels. The win last night, putting them 2 games over 500 at 35-33, and they picked up a game in the standings. Houston lost last night, so the Angels 4.5 back. Efrain Navarro for the 2nd consecutive game back in that leadoff spot. Cole in right field, Mike Trout at center, Albert Pujols the cleanup hitter. Eric Gaibar in the 5 spot. He's the shortstop. Johnny Givitello second. Matt Joyce the DH today. Kyle Kubica gets a start at third base, so no David Freese, and Carlos Perez will do the catching and bat ninth as they take on the 25-year-old right-hander native of Norwich, Connecticut. His name is Jesse Hahn.
Hahn has a good sinking fastball, 90-94 slider, big 12-6 curveball, and a solid changeup that he's getting more and more comfortable. But my go-tos against Hahn to be successful, bring that fastball to the middle of the plate. If you chase it out of the zone, it's going to be difficult to square up. And think line drive. He does not give up many home runs. He's only allowed 3 home runs this year. Actually, he's hit 8 batters and has only allowed 3 home runs. So he's keeping the ball down. He has real good movement on his pitches to use that middle of the field and line drive after line drive to score.
That percentage of home runs per 9 innings for Hahn, by the way, the lowest in the American League and 4th lowest in Major League Baseball. But that being said,
we said that a number of times.
A couple of days ago, right,
yes,
against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Taylor Featherston and Johnny Givitello went deep against Allen Webster. Let's check out the A's athletically and defensively, since they are both. Zobrist, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield from left to right. Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, and Davis in the infield from third to first. And Josh Phegley gets to start behind the plate.
Simeon at shortstop, 22 errors this year. It's the most by any player at any position in baseball. Although, for me, he's still very athletic, very good range. It's mainly been the throws for Simeon. He will clean that up, and I think he's got a chance to develop into a very good Major League shortstop.
Efrain Navarro ready to step in and lead this one off to start this afternoon's contest. Oh, yesterday 1 for 3 with a double. Swings the first pitch, fouls it off. 0-1 count on the Angels left fielder, hitting .289. 3 doubles, 3 RBIs. It's the second time that the Angels have faced Hahn. First time was right here at the Coliseum on April 29th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got a no decision now and gave up 3 runs. All earned on 4 hits and 5 innings of work. Struck out 6 and walked 1. First season with Oakland. 2 balls and a strike.
I was just looking at that 1-1 count so far this year against Hahn. Hitters are hitting .424, 14 for 33. What that tells me is that third pitch, that pitch he wants to get back in the counts or try to get ahead of a count, doesn't have control of it.
Line to left. Zobrist is there, and he will squeeze it for the first out.
The Hyundai key for this game, counting on the offense to go, but you had the last couple of games. A little Aerosmith. Train kept it rolling. Get that offense going, pile up some runs, some big innings, some crooked numbers in innings today for the Halos to be able to win this game and give some early support to Jared Weaver.
Perhaps it is a trend for the Angels.
I know Mike Scioscia's a big Aerosmith fan, too.
Yeah. Cole Calhoun stepping in. Cole went hitless in last night's contest, going 0 for 5. Foul tips the first one. 8 runs in the 7th inning last night for the Angels. On Thursday, it was 5 runs in the 6th inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, I go back to that point that I made in the open. I know we were talking about Albert Pujols, but he was the 8th man to bat. And when we talk about continuity in the lineup, it's exactly what we're talking about, is turning the lineup over. It's this one, little looper over to second. 2 outs. And you got that with the 2 walks. And then not only that, Joyce with a single, Iannetta with a single, turns the lineup over to the top, and it kind of gives those guys, those RBI guys, the opportunities to be in those situations.
Even a nice at bat by Daniel Robertson working a walk in that inning. So a number of guys did what they had to do to give the Angels an opportunity to score some runs. And boy, did they. To come back in a game in which Sonny Gray is on the mound and they're up 7-2 Oakland, to come back and win like that, you would hope you'd have some serious momentum going into this game today.
There's Daniel.
Had a great play to finish off the game also.
Yeah, he did. First one of Trout is upstairs for ball one. Trout hitting .299, 18 home runs and 41 runs batted in. 1 for 4 game yesterday with a double. Got credited with a sac fly in that 7th inning. That was the ball that Zobrist dropped. So he didn't get charged with the at bat, but he did pick up his 41st RBI. The double, he hit his 16th. 4 errors committed by Oakland in last night's game. That's a ground ball slowly hit to Simeon and short.
Well, he jammed 2 hitters in this inning.
Halos go down in order. We will head to the bottom of the first. Jared Weaver on the mound for the Angels as we are scoreless. No scores. We start at the bottom of the first inning. We'll check out Bob Melvin's starting lineup for the Oakland Athletics at 29 and 41. Burns leading things off at center field. 3 infield hits yesterday. He's got 19 on the season. He's the center fielder. Simeon at short. Both the DH today. Zobrist, the cleanup hitter at left. Reddick at right. Davis at first. Brett Laurie at third. Fegley behind the plate. And Eric Sogard, who's got good numbers against Jared Weaver, batting 9th and playing second. Weaver comes into this one with a 4-7 record and a 4.65 ERA. His first one is up and away for ball one.
And the keys for Weaver, especially against this Oakland club, is you got to command your other pitches. His record so far this year, 4-7, 4.65 ERA. But I look at the percentages of fastballs he throws for first pitch and first pitch strike as compared to off speed. 58% of his first pitch fastballs, first pitch have been for strikes. Off speed 42%. I think you got to go back more off speed against them.
This one's popped up behind the plate. Carlos Perez gets rid of the mask and the helmet. 1 down.
And just looking at those numbers for Weaver, and a key, especially against this Oakland club, it's always been very good as far as hitting the fastball. You know, first pitch, a lot of fastballs from Weaver, 58%, but the off-speed pitch could be very effective, especially against a guy like Billy Burns, get him out in front, and some of the lefties in Reddick and Zobrist also using off-speed as his first pitch to be able to get some quick outs.
There's some interesting numbers when you start diving into them for Weaver. Marcus Simeon takes ball one. Shortstop hitting .268. 6 home runs and 17 runs batted in. Weaver making his 3rd appearance against Oakland, his first since April 28th. 0-1. Did one very good start, got a no decision, then had one that kind of got away from him. And that was here at the Coliseum when he gave up 6 runs on April 28th. 6 hits and 7 innings of work. His numbers this year on the road, not been that good for him. 2-1. It's fouled back. Jared 2-5 on the road this year with a 5.57 ERA and 11 of the 16 home runs he's given up. He's been on the road. The other thing that stands out, Gooby, is the fact that opposing hitters hitting 274 against him, and that's right down the middle, righties and lefties, the exact same. And that hasn't been the case. He's really been able to neutralize right-handed batters throughout his career.
And he's done a much better job as his career has progressed as far as lefties, too, especially with his slow curveball and changeup. But for when Weaver's successful, he has real good command and confidence in his fastball early on.
Simeon rips one out the left field. Navarro pulls up, and this one's off the wall. Barehands it, fires it into second. Simeon with good speed is able to get in there with a double. Ball trickles to Albert. 13 double for Simeon.
Now 4 for 7 against Weaver. He tried a fastball there. And we've seen from Simeon so far in his career, he's got good power. Anything on the inner half of the plate, you got to force him to use the other part of the field. Make it go the other way or up the middle. Because he is quick inside. He has a short, compact swing on something on the inner half of the plate.
Ball jumps off his bat. And in the daytime here, just like the daytime at home, ball will fly. First one to vote in for a strike. The DH today, 283, 13 home runs and 50 runs batted in. Vote batting in the 2 spot and catching last night. 2 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBI double, 3 RBIs today. Even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pulls one down the line, foul. 1-2, out in front of the off-speed pitch. Bo's home run coming off Shoemaker last night. Shoe giving up 2. He's 4+ innings. He pulls this one down. To the right of the Angels bullpen. Ricochets out to shallow right. Cole will have to retrieve it. There's Matt.
Basically said after the game his teammates really picked him up. That great comeback. He's just got to figure out how to be more successful on a consistent basis. We saw that a lot last year. He's trying to get that feel this year.
One out double by Marcus Simeon. He is at second base.
It's a good movement on a no-seam fastball from Weaver at 85.
Ben's over, is on deck. 2-2 now. Vogt waits on it, fouls it off to the left this time.
Yeah, that's the right pitch from Weaver, but just a little bit too high in the strike zone, or just off the strike zone. He wanted to go backdoor curveball. A chance almost to bounce that because of that late movement on the pitch before with a fastball.
Lively crowd this afternoon. Sunny Gray Gnome giveaway. Solar powered. No.
Solar. Oh, yes.
2-2. Just in, full count. Apparently the baseball that Sonny Gray's holding is, or I'm sorry, the Sonny Gray Gnome is holding is lights up.
It's not really sunny. I thought it was him.
In his downtime. And that is ripped down the line. That'll go into the corner. Simeon will come in to score. Vogt on his way to second. The throw from Calhoun burned out of time. An RBI double. It's 1-0 Oakland. 51st RBI for Vogt.
It's a fastball right down the heart of the play for Weave. He wanted to go inside. He was able to drop the bat head out and crush that one right down the right field line. And a lot of times, even though it's the first inning, you got a guy with like Vogt who's swinging the bat so well, especially at home. You would think Weaver, and I think that's what he was trying to do, was going to make him swing at something out of the strike zone, especially with an open base available at first base.
Zobrist looks at a strike. It's an Oakland team that, even if you look at the record offensively, put some numbers up on the board. They've done it here at home too. As a team, they've hit 272 here in this ballpark compared to 247 on the road. Zobrist, the left fielder, as the count evened up on him at 1-1 strike. He had a 3-run home run in the first inning last night, doubled in the 5th, 2-for-5 game. Also committed the error, his 3rd of the year. It's on the ball that Trout hit. He's over 7 for 21 his career. Thanks, Jerry. Flared out to shallow center field. Long run in for Trout. 2 outs.
And that's a play now that Trout is making easier because he's playing a little more shallow in center field. You know, today maybe take a step or two back with a day game here in Oakland. So I like what he's been doing. Dino Ebel's really stressed to Mike Trout and Cole Calhoun to play a little more shallow in the outfield, and that way he can take away those little flares that fall in front of him.
Josh Reddick looks at a breaking ball outside. Reddick also with good numbers against Weaver. 9 for 29 in his career. The right fielder hitting .291. And an 0-for-5 game last night. So foul back. 1-1 strike.
And a curveball so far in this game for Weaver, 66 miles an hour to 68 range. His changeup, anywhere between 73 to 77 range. Slider is going to be upper 70s, maybe touch 80 with a slider.
Two balls and a strike. After with a fastball.
I think it's important for Weave to be able to challenge hitters with his fastball, because eventually they have to look for it and respect it, and then that's when he can get him out in front on his curveball or changeup. You just can't stay all speed because they could sit back on that pitch.
Foul tipped into the mid. Down goes Reddick on a fastball in. And that'll end it for Oakland. They do score a run off back-to-back doubles. We'll head to the second. The Angels play from behind. It's 1-0 Oakland. take on the Houston Astros on Tuesday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive an Angels beach hat courtesy of Chronic Tacos while supplies last. Purchase your tickets at the Angel Stadium ticket office. And online.
Nice.
Angels.com.
Be a good one to have today. Sunny day here.
Long homestand coming up. Houston for 3. Seattle in for 3. The Yankees.
And the New York Yankees with A-Rod after getting his 3,000th career hit, a home run last night.
Albert swinging first pitch. Chops one over to Brett Laurie. 1 pitch, 1 out. And it'll bring up Eric Ibar.
He's jammed 3 hitters in a row. And that's what I talked about against him, just bring the middle part of the plate. Because if you start swinging the pitches that start on a corner, it's going to be jam shot after jam shot against Hahn.
Ibar looks at his strike, hitting .250 with a home run and 20 runs batted in. Eric yesterday picked up a couple of hits. 2 for 4 game. Also picked up a walk and RBI and scored twice. As he will look at strike 2. A long time coming for Eric as far as the multi-hit game. First it's June the 9th. Fouled off. Count remains at no balls and 2 strikes.
Career .342 hitter in this yard. I'm afraid I thought about playing some soccer.
Yeah.
With the World Cup going on right now.
Fredo always with a bounce in his step.
Oh, yeah. Still got the hands on the hip.
It's a good look. Bouncer to the right side. Davis has it. Feed Hahn, and he wins the foot race. 2 outs. 5 up, 5 down.
That's the right angle to take as a pitcher. A lot of times you're taught when you're a youngster, you go cut across and go right up the first base line, but that's a longer path to the base. And Hahn was able to get right there, got there quicker against Ibar. A slow roller like that, especially with Ibar's speed, you would think it's got a chance. But that angle he took, gets there quickly before Ibar gets to the base. Well done by Hahn.
So 2 outs and nobody on for Johnny Giavitello. Giavitello with a couple of walks, couple of hits last night. Matter of fact, ended up going 2 for 2. 3 runs batted in. Double and a single. Also scored a run. Much was made of a little confrontation, if you will, if you even want to call it that, between Cole and Johnny last night during that 7th inning. Cole Calhoun addressing it. Nothing. The thing that goes on between teammates.
They were hanging around together and having some food after the game. And there's a couple teammates having a little fun now.
Yeah. But over the course of the season, you'd be surprised how many things go on. You're dealing with 6 months and the grind of a 162-game schedule.
Hot streaks, cold streaks. Yeah. Some guys are hot, some guys are not, and then they just catch them at the wrong time. Giavitello is certainly a high-energy guy, that's for sure.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's a battle of the stirrups right here between Giavitello and Hahn on the mound.
I like the stripes on that one. This one's out to shallow left center field. This could be trouble. Simeon going out, not going to get there. It'll fall in for a 2-out single.
Now that was a Phil Mickelson sandwich there by Giavotella. Well placed.
Now batting.
He's out in front.
Number 20, Matt Joyce.
Curveball at the end of the bat. And especially in a day game as an outfielder, you're always thinking in terms of ball is going to carry well, but that ball was placed perfectly by Giavotella in front of Zobrist and left.
So a man on for Matt Joyce, serving as a DH. Joyce hitting 190. Hahn working from the stretch for the first time. Joyce 1 for 4 yesterday with an RBI single. Also scored a run. Oakland getting their run of the first with 1 out, back-to-back doubles by Simeon and Vogt. Weaver kept it at that. Two balls and no strikes. Mentioned Hahn in his first season with Oakland. Originally in the Rays system. 6th round pick in 2010 out of Virginia Tech. Got traded to the Padres. That was prior to 2014. Made his major league debut last year for the Pods. Pitched 14 games, made 12 starts, a 7-4 record. And 3.07 ERA, and then came over as part of the Derek Norris trade this offseason. Good rip by Joyce. Fouls it back 2-1. Big cat, too, 6'5".
Loves basketball. Pretty good jump ball between him and Weaver.
Yeah.
Pitchers on the mound today. They played high school basketball with Matt Harvey in Connecticut. And baseball, of course.
Harvey went on to the University of North Carolina. 31st, Giavotella back. 2 balls, 1 strike on Joyce. Long hold for Hahn.
It's a pretty difficult combination to try to steal against. Hahn is quick to the plate. He's allowed 2 stolen bases in 6 attempts. Has 1 pickoff. Effectively, he has thrown out 43.5% of would-be base stealers, which is well above average for a catcher in the major leagues.
Three balls and 1 strike. Kyle Kubica, Angels' 3rd baseman this afternoon, on deck.
Lefties much more successful against Hahn. Over 100 points higher lefties as compared to right-handed batters. 294 to 181.
Really slowing things down with Giavotella at first, especially with 2 outs. And there's a walk, so 2 on now. And that'll bring up Kubica.
The walk was a big part of that big inning last night. 2 leadoff walks by Sonny Gray. That 7th inning.
That was at a total of 3. Robertson eventually picked one up with the bases loaded after he fell behind 0-2.
Kyle Kubica.
Kyle 6 for 20 so far with the Angels. Even 300 batting average. Still looking for his first big league extra base hit. He's got Giavotella at second base and Matt Joyce at first. Follow behind.
This could be a time where he can hook one down that right field line to get his first extra base hit. Especially knowing a pitcher has to groove a fastball at some point here in this at bat. Doesn't want to put himself in a situation to be behind the count 2-0 again.
but completely different pace for Hahn with men on compared to bases empty. And now it gets away from Fegley. Just didn't watch the ball into the glove. Should go as a pass ball. And the Angels have runners at second and third now.
That was a changeup. Yeah, took his eye off the baseball. Thought he tracked it well enough to catch it. Now base hit by Kubica could give the Angels a lead here. Hitters hitting .429 coming in this game against Hahn on a 2-0 count.
Two balls, one strike. He back in with a fastball.
A pretty good hack at it too. That's his zone where he can drive that ball for that first extra base hit.
Hahn's coming off a win against his former teammates, the Padres. A run on 3 hits, 6 2/3. He has, his overall numbers are good. He has struggled in 6 games against American League West opponents. 0-3 with a 5.12 in 6 starts against the West. Foul tip. Fegley could not hang on to it. It's a foul ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's the time when he likes to throw his curveball. He's bounced quite a few of 5 wild pitches. Sure, sometimes overthrows that. He's hit 8 batters. A lot of the hit batters have been on breaking pitches.
And he got him with a breaking ball. Fegley applies the tag, and the Angels will leave 2 men on base. We'll head to the bottom of the second with Oakland leading at 1-0.
Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Fernando Salas became the first Angel pitcher to throw 1 pitch and pick up a W since my good buddy Pat Harris did it back in 1998. That is good, clean living for Fernando Salas. 1 pitch, get it out, and pick up a W.
Ground ball out, Ben Zobrist. It worked.
Oh, yeah.
Davis, Laurie, and Fegley, 6, 7, and 8 here in the second. Bounce to the left side. Ibar comes in. Off balance throw. Mike Davis retired for the first out.
One thing you notice when Weaver's on the mound, when he gets a ground ball, there's some odd bounces to the ground ball against him because they're always out in front, off the end of the bat. And a little bit of an odd hop to Ibar. As an infielder, you have to stay with the base loader. A lot of rotation and spin on the baseball, especially with his assortment of all-speed pitches from Weaver. He evens that movement on his no-seam fastball.
Brett Laurie takes upstairs. Third baseman hitting .288, 6 home runs and 29 RBIs. 2-hit game last night, going 2 for 4. 2-0. This one's fouled back and out of play. Carlos will give it a look, but it's into the seats. Not a whole lot of room between home plate and the backstop here at the Coliseum.
A lot of room everywhere else, though.
Yeah. They made up for it, right?
Yes. The surface looks great right now. No football. Obviously, it's time of the year. The surface looks fantastic.
Right now. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's a good slider from Weaver.
Come August.
Yeah.
September.
Slightly different story.
This one down to right. Cole is there. 2 outs.
We come back here. Our last trip in is August, so the field might not be chewed up too bad. Next and last time in for the Angels into this stadium.
Batting in the 8th position and catching number 19.
Josh Begley will bat. 2 outs, nobody on. Old Def Leppard walk-up song.
By the way, great in concert. Def Leppard.
Yeah. Begley lifts one out to shallow right. Cole underneath it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jared Weaver. 2 in the books here at the Coliseum. Angels have 9-1-2 coming up, down 1-0. Against Jared Weaver in the first inning. Angels will send up Perez, Navarro, and Calhoun here in the third inning. Some old school Angel hats there. California Angels. They're here. They're everywhere.
Yeah, quite a few. Always up here. Doing here in Seattle.
Yeah. Traveled well to Arizona as well. Good group of Angel fans. The 2 games the Angels played there in downtown Phoenix. Carlos Perez looks at a strike. By the way, it's Greg Gibson calling the ball strikes this afternoon. Chris Siegel at first, Marvin Hudson at second, and Jim Joyce at third. He's the crew chief. Carlos at 264, getting the start behind the plate. He chops this one over to Marcus Semien. One away. Halos had an opportunity in the second inning. 2-out single by Giavitello. The walk to Joyce and the pass ball. Kyle Kopitz is striking out. First strikeout for Hahn, and that ended the Angels' threat in the second.
Not a real strikeout type pitcher. There's 49 strikeouts and 77 innings pitched coming into this game for Hahn. He's more of a pitch to contact guy. Take the sting out of the bat, running fastballs in both lefties and righties.
Efren with a fly ball to left field. Lead off the ball game. 0 for 1. Breaking ball almost gets Navarro's foot.
Again, that's that breaking ball. He'll hit some lefties, just trying to make sure he doesn't make a mistake with that curveball.
Ground ball to the right side. Ike Davis has it. 2 outs. Five ground ball outs for Hahn.
And if you try to pull that sinker when it's away against the lefty, he's going to get a lot of that ground ball action to second base. You got to stay with it, hit that ball the other way.
Cole Calhoun.
And if you're Cole with this at bat, well, if you get a fastball anywhere near the inside part of the plate, you got to let it go right now and try to drive it.
There it is, out to center. 2-out single. We'll give Trout an opportunity to bat here.
Inner half of the plate on a breaking ball, but he was ready. He was looking on that part of the plate. Base hit for Cole.
Can I get a
good swing there for Cole Calhoun? Gives Mike Trout that opportunity now. And he's been hitting a lot of doubles of late. He's got 16 doubles on the season for Trout.
Trout 0 for 1 as he grounded out first inning.
Same pattern, fastball away against Trout. Good movement, right? That ball actually inside.
Yeah, it looked like it was in off the plate.
What Oakland has tried to do now against Trout in the past, a lot of fastballs in. They've tried to go fastballs away against him. Boy, in this day and age where you see so many things throughout, from Fangraphs on forth about how to get even the very best hitters out. Baseball and the scouts, advanced scouts, have determined the best pitch against Trout now is a fastball away.
1-1 pitch, and that is off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Pujols on deck. Played the infield to pull with Trout at the plate. Sogard shading him toward the middle of the infield. Big hole on the right side with Davis holding on Cole.
Well, a lot of room out in left center field too for Trout.
Foul back. Good rip at it. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Really similar pitch that he got Trout to ground out his first at bat. Ran a fastball in the inner half. He's ready for that one. back inside.
Made a mistake there, too. Got away with it.
And that's the thing, when you back up a fastball inside with another fastball in against a guy who's got quick hands, you better make sure you don't make a mistake. And he did there, and Trout just fouled that one straight back. A lot of times you'll even go a little bit further in if you're going to go back in with a fastball.
Breaking ball, lifted foul. Out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes still. Yeah, it's interesting too from the dynamic of pitching. Throwing to that arm side. There's 2 things that can happen. Either you've got to be mechanically perfect and you do exactly what you want to do. If you don't, all of a sudden the arm flies, the ball can run in and hit a hitter. Or you're not fully committed to it. What do? You pull off to the first base side. You kind of just pull that fastball right into the hitting zone.
Yeah, exactly. So you better be comfortable doing that. See, a lot of pitchers are okay throwing one fastball in and then go back away. But like Hector Santiago, I think does an excellent job as far as backing up a fastball in with a fastball on the exact same plane, the same spot in the strike zone.
Breaking ball low, blocked by Fegley. Full count. Calhoun will get a head start here.
It's a really good at bat so far for Trout. Played off some tough pitches, fouled off some tough pitches. Hoping that one mistake is made now. We had an 8th pitch of the at bat against Hahn.
Cole takes off. The 3-2 is low, and he walked him. So just like the second inning, a single followed by a walk with 2 outs, and Pujols will get an opportunity.
Albert was swinging first pitch, his first at bat.
Now batting, number 5.
He's the American League with 20 home runs. 9 home runs in the month of June for Albert. Time for the most in any month as a member of the Angels for Albert. Talked about it in the opening, 12 home runs in his last 21 games with only 4 punch-outs.
.354 the month of June.
Even when he's made an out, it's been a loud out for Pujols.
Breaking ball for a strike. 20 home runs, still leads the American League. Albert in the top 10 in RBIs at 42. Miguel Cabrera and now Stephen Vogt with his RBI in the first inning lead the American League with 51. Calhoun at second, Trout at first. Good speed on the bases for the Angels. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Another breaking ball, another strike, 0-2.
Both of his pitches were slightly off the inside corner, off-speed pitches against Pujols, at least according to our Fox track. So Albert's tracking them well. He's thinking they're out of the zone, but Greg Gibson's calling them strikes.
Oh, 2. Another breaking ball.
Fegley did a nice job of keeping that baseball in front of him. Knowing, especially ahead of the count, his pitcher has a chance to try to bounce it, expand the strike zone. And they anticipate something in the dirt.
Way outside.
Not so sure he was anticipating something in the dirt that far outside.
Right. And I think that there's nothing Fegley can do. That's a wild pitch. So the second straight inning, second and third and 2 outs.
That's just about a little bit outside that fastball. Trying to set up in the outside corner. Had a good chance of hitting the left-handed batter.
Is that trying to overthrow a 2-seamer there?
Yeah, and I think he doesn't. He just wanted to show a fastball. For me, that's telling me he's going to throw Albert a breaking ball.
Count evened up. 1-0 Oakland. We're in the 3rd. 50 pitches thrown. Here comes the 51st. A swing and a drive towards center field. It's playable for Burns. Halos for the second straight inning. The runners at second and third base will head to the bottom of the frame. It's 1-0 Oakland. In June when the Angels take on the Mariners next Friday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive an Angels ornament courtesy of Sungevity. Get your tickets today at the Angels Stadium Ticket Office or online at angels.com. Speaking of the Seattle Mariners, they've just reassigned their hitting coach, Howard Johnson, to the minor leagues, and they've made Edgar Martinez the new hitting coach for Seattle.
He, no question, one of the best right-handed hitters I've ever seen in Edgar Martinez.
First pitch to Eric Sogard in for a strike. So best of luck for Edgar. He's a good guy too. Sogard pulls it foul. 0-2.
Talk about a guy who used the entire field. Real good power to right center field. That's what he's going to stress to his hitters. Just using the entire field. A lot of guys, especially when you look at Seattle, why you kind of scratch your head why they're struggling. A lot of swing and misses.
Sogard yanks a foul. Count remains at 0-2. Crazy thing is Robinson Cano, the numbers that he has put up this year. Talk about a down year.
No power numbers at all.
This one off the end of the bat, and Ibar is there to put it away. I think Weaver's reaction was,
again,
seriously?
I mean, he's been able to wear out that little flare to left field against Weaver very well, to the tune of a .300 career batting average. 9 for 30. Tried to work that magic again.
Billy Burns.
So it's Billy Burns up now with one out. Nobody on. Burns popped out. Foul territory to Perez in the first.
Kibitz playing way in at third. Ibar playing a little more shallow as a shortstop.
Johnny Givatelli doing the same at second. And it's what you should do. Another guy with that speed. All he's trying to do is just kind of put it on the ground and go. Fouled off. Perez a long run toward the dugout. Same for Kubica, and he didn't quite get there. Ball not hit high enough.
And we were talking about Billy Burns on the pregame show about what Weaver has to do against him, and this is what he's done so far. We talked about that yesterday, even with Ichiro, the way he swings the bat. The slower you throw, the more his hands are going to be going forward instead of, he likes to keep his hands back, especially late in counts, and to slap the ball to the left side of the infield. You can't do that as much with his swing and the way he runs down the line on something off speed. It's difficult to stay back long enough to make good contact.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Credit Burns, though, for kind of basically just being who and what he is. Put the ball on the ground, use your speed. Swing and a miss, down he goes. Challenging with a fastball, and he was tardy on it. 2 out, second strikeout for Jared.
And Weaver's made him aware of this slow curveball and changeup, but he beat him with a no-seam fastball at 83. Because he's just looking to slap that ball the other way. You've taken that away with a hard fastball in and a slow curveball and changeup away.
Marcus Semien doubled and scored in the first. He's 1 for 1. One, 1-2.
Good slider there from Weaver.
He's retired 7 straight since giving up the RBI double to vote in the first inning. And check swing did not go. So says Chris Siegel.
Well, that was pretty close. See if he did go. Especially with his hands crossing the plate. The bat was pretty close, but his hands went by the plate itself.
I say, no, he didn't.
I say the minute you think about swinging, yes,
That's
he went.
bring him up.
Yes.
If
I'm going old National League.
If the thought creeps into your mind,
yeah, you went.
He gone.
The intent was there.
Grab some pine. Yes, he did. Greg Gibson rings him up. Doesn't need any help on this one. A 1-2-3 inning for Jared Weaver.
So he went on that one.
3 in the books. Oakland maintains a 1-0 lead. The fantastic All-Star finalists have been announced, and we want to help Corey win a trip to the All-Star game in Cincinnati to represent the Angels and Fox Sports West. Go to foxsports.com/fantastic All-Star to vote now for June 24th. June 24th, right around the corner.
They're a good barbecue place. What, Montgomery Inn in Cincinnati?
Oh, the ribs.
Yes.
And for a while, they used to have Montgomery Inn at Comerica Park in Detroit, up in right center field.
That's right. That's right.
Once I was hallucinating again. Eric Ibar grounds out to Semien for the first down.
Possible?
Anything is possible. 1 out. Johnny Giavotella coming up.
So the little lights aren't twinkling, right, Clark?
Now batting, number 12.
Oh, man. Giavotella 1 for 1 as he singled and was stranded at third base in the second inning. be the happiest Christmas next Friday.
Oh, there's no question.
1 ball, no strikes.
It's never a bad time to reference a Bing Crosby or Danny Kaye in there.
1 strikeout, 2 walks for Hahn. Halos back-to-back innings with 2 outs. They've had men reach second and third, but they have stranded 4 today. Check swing, bouncer up the third base line. Hahn picks it up, fires the first, got him.
That's a pretty good play by Hahn, under control. Could throw the first base. A lot of times when you pitcher, when you feel the ball like that, you throw the ball right at the runner going down the line. But Laurie had no chance.
Now batting.
But Hahn off the mound quickly.
Joyce.
Using the bare hand, push that into the grass, and a good firm throw to first base. Inside the base. Right, Davis. Well done by Hahn.
Joyce fouls off the first one. Joyce threw a walk in the second. Yeah, early on, there was a Montgomery in at Comerica Park. 0-2. Joyce lifts one out to shallow left. Simeon going out, and Zobrist comes in and goes into a slide, makes the catch, and the Angels go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Oakland still leading it.
A good read by Zobrist, looking to see where Simeon was, and tracks it, slides, makes a nice play. His brother, Jeff Weaver. When Jeff was with the Dodgers, both his parents on hand to watch that game. I think they're a T-Mobile changer. Brothers that have locked up against each other. Had Phil and Joe Negro do it. Pat and Tom Underwood, Greg and Mike Maddox, Pedro, Ramon Martinez, and the Weavers battled this date in 09, June 20th. In which Jeff Weaver picked up the win against his younger brother. Dodgers won that game 6-4. Jeff Weaver at 104 career wins. Jared right now at 135 wins. So that's 239 wins combined by the Weavers.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wins.
Both Zobrist and Reddick here in the 4th. 2-1 count on Stephen Vogt. Double homer run in the first inning. 10th double, 51st RBI. Which makes safely in all 31 home games.
Wow, that's a pretty good pitch. A little ran off the outside corner, though.
Gibson saying it was outside, yeah. Which is interesting considering where some of the pitches to righties have been called.
Especially in Pujols is it bad.
3-1. Full count. Wouldn't throw him anything firm here, would you?
No. Trying to go that backdoor curveball again. And that's twice now he's tried to do that, which is the right pitch for Weave against Vogt, but both times have been upstairs. Now you can almost try to go fastball away.
Count remains full. Both of those 2 off-speed pitches up.
That's the only reason why he was able to foul those pitches off.
And he walked him. First walk issued by Weaver. Puts the leadoff man on board for Ben Zobrist.
Now batting left fielder, 18, Ben Zobrist.
Zobrist 0 for 1 as he skied Wyndham Trout in the first inning. Picked up in a trade. Free agent to be as well. Some time earlier this year with knee injury. Requires minor surgery, meniscus tear. 248, 4 home runs and 24 runs batted in. Last week we saw him playing second base for Oakland. First 2 games of this series, Adam left.
I believe at some point Billy Beane will try to move him. Certainly a number of teams would love to have Ben Zobrist because he can play, like you mentioned, Victor, a bunch of different positions. Good at bats from both sides of the plate.
And he lifts one out toward right. Cole Calhoun into foul territory will make the catch. Vogt will stay at first base. 1 out. Nice play by Cole.
Yeah, that's a lot of ground he covered. Plus, you're going close to that wall. Good concentration all the way through on that play. See how far he's got to go. And when you're going that quickly and you're getting that close to the wall, you know when you're as an outfielder, you're on that warning track. You wonder how many more steps you have before you're going to collide in with that wall. Never took his eye off the baseball. Nice play. Used his hand to be able to push off the wall to get that baseball in quickly.
Reddick a strikeout victim in the first. 3 punch outs for Weaver, 1 walk and 2 hits allowed. It's a ground ball to the right side. Pujols has it go off his glove. Fires it to second. Vogt safe at second.
Albert in good fielding position. Like this is he was trying to make that play, look over to see where Ibar would be covering the base. Looked like it for sure had a chance at a 3-6-1 double play.
Now batting first baseman, 17, Ike Davis.
Keeler Schwartz and an error on Albert, his second of the season. 40th error committed by the Angels. So Oakland, a couple of men on base. Ike Davis grounded out his first time. Field number out in front of the plate. Perez fires to third for 1. The relay back to first and no play. Albert came off the bag.
That would not be your normal conventional double play. 2-5-3, but close, especially with the arm strength that Kapitza has at third base. Nice play by Carlos Perez. the lead runner at third base. You have Vogt running, you have a chance. Hard, quick slide there by Vogt at third, which you can do to try to prevent a double play.
Cat-like quickness for Carlos Perez from behind the plate. 2 outs, first and second. And Brett Laurie at the plate. He had one out to Cole Calhoun his first time up. 1-0 Oakland here in the fourth. Way outside. A couple of finals already. Chicago defeating Texas 3-2. Baltimore over Toronto 5-3. Most of the other games tonight. Cubs at Minnesota leading now with 3-1 in the 10th. Later tonight, Boston and KC, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Detroit and New York, Houston and Seattle.
Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Astros tonight. 8-2 record. Foul right off the shoulder bicep area for Carlos Perez. Change up for shoulder. See that long stride for Laurie, was out in front of that changeup, fell straight back at Carlos.
This is popped up. Eric Ibar puts the shades down. Still dealing with that sunshine. Will squeeze it for the third out. No runs, no hits, and 2 left on. 4 complete. 1-0 Oakland.
Cherokee with an EPA estimate of 31 miles per gallon. Visit Jeep.com for more information. By AT&T Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Oakland. Beautiful shot of San Francisco. Just across the bay here at the Odacco Coliseum. Los Rojos.
Yes. Angel fans who at the ballpark here.
Got a Reds jersey on.
It's a cool jersey.
Well, at least that's what it translates into. I mean, I don't know if the Reds are actually using that.
Yeah, the color red. We're fine.
Yeah. No, got the hat on. 8-9-1 for the Angels. Kapitza looks at a strike. It's 0-2. Kyle struck out on the second, so he's 0-1.
And he struck him out on a curveball down and in.
goes away with a fastball this time. 1 out.
There's only 2 punch outs of the game. Both have been against Kubica for Jesse Hahn. His fastball had some serious running action off the plate. A perfect fastball in an 0-2 count off the plate.
That swing by Kyle, though, looked like a swing that was anticipating something down into the breaking ball. Another breaking ball.
Early on here for Kubica against Hahn, he's not seen the ball well against him.
There's Carlos grounded out to Simeon his first time. And we're looking at a strike. That pitch is way in off the plate.
And he is calling that part of the plate on right-handed batters. That's about a baseball or 2 off the inside corner.
You got to swing at that to protect with 2 strikes. Otherwise, run the risk of getting rung up. Top of the order, Nefra Navarro on deck. Away with the breaking ball. 2 outs. Hey fans, you can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Angels.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at Angels.com. 6 in a row retired now by Hahn since the walk to Trout in the 3rd. Efren 0 for 2. A fly ball to left and a ground ball to first. Both teams with 2 hits. For Oakland, those 2 hits occurred in the first inning. They were back-to-back doubles, giving them that 1-0 lead.
And he's starting to get a better feel for his curveball now. You can see a lot more confidence in Hahn now.
Broken bat comebacker up the middle, gets by Hahn. Simeon is there. And another 1-2-3 frame. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Still Oakland leading it. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. 68 pitches thrown by Jared Weaver through 4. 2 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Facing Josh Phegley, Eric Sogard, and Billy Burns. Phegley 0 for 1 with a fly ball to right. Start today behind a plate. Vote the DH. So it's popped up. Carlos Perez Makes the grab, 1 down.
I'll tell you what, Carlos is extremely confident in pop-ups. Some catchers, that's not the case. Right away, track that baseball under control, makes it look easy. And it's not easy as a catcher. Catch a pop-up.
Now batting second baseman, number 28, Eric Sogard.
Long conversation there with Greg Gibson and Carlos Perez.
Maybe he was saying the same thing. Hey, man, you look real confident in pop-ups.
Yeah, the game can't start with us. Let's chat a little bit.
Why wouldn't we?
About your confidence behind the plate. Sogard looks at a strike.
Maybe they were digging Guns N' Roses as Eric Sogard came to the plate.
They wanted to hear a little bit more
Yes.
of that song. Let's pretend we're talking here so we can hear more of the song.
Oh, no doubt. Classic Guns N' Roses.
That's what I want every time when Efren Navarro comes to the plate at home.
Oh, there's no question.
Sogard, a little flare. And this time, nope. It's Eric Ibar taking charge. 2 outs.
Those two are classic when it comes to pop up. It's going to be close to either one of them. Remember before, Giavotella got that one pop up, and since that point, Eric goes, no more. I have those pop ups.
Waves them off.
No.
Kimbe
It's
Mutombo.
fine. Yeah. No.
Burns drags a bunt. Weaver comes off the mound and not going to get it. Infield base hit for Burns. 20th infield hit for Burns this year. It leads the American League.
And if you're going to bunt with 2 outs, you got to believe he's going to try to steal a base between the first or second pitch. And the only play Weaver has, he's going to try to use the glove and flip it over to Pujols. And even then, he probably wouldn't have enough on it to be able to throw him out. Sometimes the pitcher, you think, well, you see him running down the line. If he's inside the field of play, just throw the ball and hit him in the back. He's going to be called out, but he stayed right along that chalk line. These are the times where Weaver step off and throw over. 2 pickoffs this year for Weaver.
Simeon 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored in the first, a strikeout in the third. Time was called. Simeon asking for it. It was granted by Greg Gibson at the last second. And the uninformed yell balk.
Again, the umpire doesn't have to call timeout. We saw that with Billy Butler at home.
Burns takes off. The pitch is fouled back. "14 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught 3 times.
Nice job of quick pitching there by Weaver. Threw the timing off of Burns and Simeon at the same time. He's been holding the ball. That time went into a quick pitch. Almost afford a pitch out right now. Quick move. Good footwork by Weaver. Firm throw. Burns using that back part of the base to avoid the tag for Pujols.
Burns started to go. Snap throw to first. And, a good tag by Albert. Burns gets a hand in there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Burns again takes off. The pitch is low. Throw down to second base. A good one, but Burns had a good job, so it's a stolen bases 15th of the season.
Pretty good jump. Picked the right pitch to go. Head first slide. Giavatello keeps that tag on Burns just in case he's unable to control the base, and that's a good hard tag. Almost knocked his hand off the base.
2-2 pitch. Simeon fouls it off. Marcus Simeon, made of Berkeley, California, which is the White Sox system. Came over the offseason deal. Jeff Samardzija going the other way. This was fouled off again. Fegley also part of that deal. Halos in the 6th inning have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up. Full count.
Pretty close to a strike. Went upstairs with a fastball. Trying to get that upper part of the strike zone, the upper quadrant of the strike zone. He touches the upper part at 86. Get the call though.
Stephen Vogt on decks is the guy you'd like to get here. Vogt has had some good swings against Weaver this afternoon.
Weaver, for the most part, staying away against Simeon. Saw that his first at bat on the inner half and down. He's very quick.
Lifted in the air and playable for Albert. Third out is recorded. 5 complete here at the Coliseum. The Angels down 1-0.
Download the Subway Restaurants app and lose the weight when you pick up your order. It's Subway made simple.
Halos up 1-0, or down 1-0, I should say, to start the 6th inning. Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up to face Jesse Hahn. Hahn is starting to settle in now. He's retired 7 straight since walking Trout in the 3rd inning. Cole 1 for 2. The pop-up and a single. Angels with 2 opportunities, 2nd and 3rd innings, but able to push across that tying run. Cole bunts one foul. Snowballs and a strike. Play the overshift on him. Yeah, why not?
That's a great decision by Cole.
Haven't seen him do that often.
What we've seen from the offense lately, Scoring runs in bunches in the 6th or 7th inning. Mike Scioscia and Jared Weaver would love to see some numbers put up here by the offense in this inning. Still the ball very well today. Just a couple of mistakes in the 1st inning. Other than that, been fantastic.
It's tied up with that high fastball. 0-2 count. Cole just over 250 on the month of June as far as batting average is concerned. Two balls and 2 strikes. 3 strikeouts for Hahn and 2 walks. 2 hits allowed.
So a lot of curveballs in these counts. 2-2 after some fastballs against Cole.
Full count. Phillies have not had their leadoff man reach in any one inning. Looking to change that here in the 6th.
Fastball inside.
Lifts this one out to a shallow center. Burns comes in. 1 out.
For a guy that has struggled against left-handed batters, Hahn has done a nice job of getting inside against the lefties today.
Now batting, number 27, Mike Trout.
Trout 0 for 1 with a ground down and a walk. Albert on deck. And is fouled off into the seats. It's 1-1. Angels with the win in last night's game. Now 18-12 against the Western Division. Oakland with a loss, 14-22. That is out towards center, not very deep. Here comes Burns, and will fall in for a base hit. Fooled by the swing, perhaps.
Yeah, off the end of the bat, very similar. We saw a flare into the outfield earlier by the Angels. That was Cole Calhoun.
Now batting, number 5, Albert.
Breaking ball.
Pujols.
Very end of the bat. Very end of the bat for Trout. Because of his power, especially in the middle of the field. Number of his home runs to center field for Trout. That full Burns.
Albert 0 for 2. He's grounded out to Brett Laurie, and he's hit a fly ball to center field. A 1-0 deficit for the Angels here in the 6th. Tying run at first. The 78th pitch of the afternoon for Hahn. Two balls, no strikes. Mentioned earlier that Albert leads 20 home runs, leads the league. He's currently 5th as far as slugging percentage at .554. Cabrera is first at .597. Trout at .583. Just a good run that Pujols has been on in the month of June. That one gets away, and the count doesn't go. He was walking back to first.
Yeah, I think if Trouty reads that well, he can get second base. Another overthrown fastball. Starting to go back. At that point, you can't make that commitment. 3-0 count now against Pujols. Certainly will get the green light.
And he walked him. So 2 on, 1 out. Third walk issued by Hahn to go with 3 strikeouts. Fegley to pay a visit. And Ibar due up.
Now batting, number 2, Eric.
Yeah, with 4 pitches in a row thrown out of the strike zone. Eric's got to look right in the zone right now. Break a ball, let it go unless it's a hanger. You can still react to that one, but look for a fastball in your zone. Don't help him out.
And that's kind of been Eric's issue of late, is that he has chased pitchers' pitches as opposed to zoning in one area. He's kind of been reaching quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Pitches out of the zone. He's got Trout the tying run at second and Pujols at first. Fouls the first one off.
That pitch, first pitch out of the strike zone. Running fastball.
Eric 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs. 1 to first, 1 to short. Long hold, the 0-1. And that is line to center field, a base hit. Trout is going to be waved in. Burns comes up firing. Trout scores, and we're tied at 1. Eric Ibar with the RBI single.
Yeah, nice job by Eric. And one thing I noticed from Hahn, especially in the stretch position, he will move his glove a little bit on a breaking ball, and it looked like Eric recognized that, looking breaking ball, and hit that ball hard right back up the middle. That's a pretty good pitch. But if you're looking for a break a ball, you can make contact, and they will challenge Billy Burns' throwing arm. A decent throw from him out there, but very aggressive. And I like what Gary DiSarcina did with Mike Trout, sending him home and tying the game up.
Ibar picks up his 21st RBI. Kurt Young out to pay a visit, the pitching coach. Johnny Giavitello will get an opportunity to put the Angels in the lead. Pujols at second and Ibar at first.
Like Gary DiSarcina being aggressive, got the windmill going, sending home Mike Trout with a good slide, ties the game up. And you get those scouting reports on the throwing arms of outfielders. Burns, very aggressive and covers a lot of ground, but doesn't have a strong throwing arm, so you're going to take a shot at him.
Giavitello with a base hit in the second. He's 1 for 2. Outfield shallow, although Zobrist's a little bit deeper and left.
Well, the odd pattern that Hahn has run into today, after he's given up a hit, he's walked the next batter. So this inning, finally, the Angels capitalized with a hit after that walk to score a run. He's been able to avoid the big inning so far, getting through that. 2 base runners on. Now Giavitello trying to give the Angels a lead here. Well, Rick, you mentioned it earlier, when Jesse Hahn is in the stretch position, it slows the game down considerably. When he's in the full windup, he gets some quick outs. He does not waste any time in between pitches.
1-1 pitch. Ground ball up the line, foul. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pujols back to second and Ivar back to first.
The interesting thing there for Brett Lower down at third, he was set up to throw across the diamond. He might have had a better chance of just running over and stepping on the base. That's a long throw. He does have a good throwing arm. That would have been a long throw over the first base.
From the Bryce Harper school of putting eye black on.
Yes. It's kind of just throw it on there. That's close.
Nice block by Fegley. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Fegley did a nice job of getting over there on that break ball. Not easy, especially with the spin of a curveball in the dirt.
Set up back inside. Here's the 2-2. And this is bouncing back toward the middle. Simeon will take it himself. And it's an inning-ending double play. The Angels do tie it up on the single by Ivar. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning, knotted at 1.
He's needed to, getting out of jams. Reddick, fastball in, gets Lori to pop up on a slow curveball with a couple runners on. And Simeon, man on second, another guy in scoring position, gets a pop up, and Albert Pujols able to make the play. Weaver making the pitch when he needed to.
1-1 game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They'll face Vogt, Zobrist, Reddick. 3, 4, and 5 for Oakland. Stephen Vogt, double home run in the 1st inning, walked in the 4th. One ball, 1 strike. Halos with 4 hits, Oakland with 3. And Vogt rips one into right field, a base hit. Lead off single as Cole gets it back into the infield.
Vogt coming into the game is 5 for 21 against Weaver, but 2 for 2 today with a walk. And another high pitch. He's pretty good on high pitches, whether it's a breaking ball or fastball. Vogt, not your typical lefty. Prefer pitches down in the strike zone.
Zobrist twice his flight outs. He's 0 for 2. "87 pitches for Jared. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Zobrist chops her to the right side. Pujols fields it, spins around, fires to second base, and they get the lead runner, Stephen Vogt, for the first out. Nice play by Albert. And knowing that you've got a little extra time with Vogt running there.
Always try to get that lead runner. Very difficult to be able to turn a double play. So get the lead runner. Good feed to Ibar. Weaver was a little late covering first, but Gianvitella got there at the first base. But you don't want to take a chance, especially with all this foul territory, to throw a baseball towards that base when no one's there.
So Reddick will bat with 1 out and 1 on. He'll look at the strike.
90 pitches in this game for Weaver. 27 of them in the first inning. It's been very solid since.
Breaking ball down the left field line. That is a fair ball. Zobrist on his way to third. He is going to be waved in. Navarro gets the ball into Ibar. The relay is late, and it's 2-1 Oakland.
Yeah, Reddick stayed back very well on that curveball. It was off the plate. Just went with the pitch. You see that design of his approach there was to try to hit the ball the other way. And it was high enough, too, that he can punch that ball down the left field line. It's 11th double, 42nd RBI.
Davis.
Oakland back in the lead at 2-1. And here's Ike Davis, who's 0 for 2. Davis, the first baseman, is grounded out and reached on a fielder's choice. So a strike on the outside corner. Bedrosian, first man up. Good off-speed pitch. 1-2. Two on Oakland here in the 6th. Laurie on deck. I think Bedrosian long. Now time will be called as the baseball's out on the field. Guess nobody sees it. Davis flipping this one into foul territory. Convinced it's not going to get there. Cole has to go retrieve that baseball down the warning track.
Weaver's had to pitch a lot of real close, tight games this year so far. Some 2.9 runs of support per 9 innings for Weaver, lowest of his career. Last year got just under 6. Third best. C.J. Wilson had the best run support last year. C.J.'s not getting a lot of run support this year either. A lot of close, tight games.
Yeah. Three-two now. Davis foul tips down into the mid. 2 down.
That's a great changeup from Weaver. 72-mile-an-hour changeup. Looks like it's a strike. And runs away just off the outside corner. Great velocity on that pitch, too, from Weaver. His 4th punch out of the game. There's 1 walk.
Brett Laurie's 0 for 2. And this is line to left center, a base hit, and it'll make it 3-1 Oakland as this one goes all the way to the wall. RBI double for Brett Laurie as he goes sliding in at second. .14 double, and he picks up his 30th RBI. Here comes Mike Scioscia, and that looks like it's going to be it for Weaver. The Angels tied it up in the 6th inning, but Oakland answers right back with 2 runs so far, 2 outs, pitching change. We're in the 6th inning, Oakland on top, 3-1. Insurance on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast, free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Oakland on top of the score of 3-1, and they chase Jared Weaver here in the 6th inning with 2 outs. Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to Cam Bedrosian. It's already out who's in, who's out. Bedrosian will face the right-hand hitting Josh Phegley with Brett Laurie standing at third base. 14th game for Cam, no record of a 4.05 ERA. Phegley pulls it down the line. That's a fair ball. There it goes, an extra base hit and another run. Make it 4-1 Oakland. And the book closed on Weaver. It's charged with 4 runs.
It's almost as if Phegley was sitting on a curveball. Ball right down the heart of the plate, stayed back on that well and hooks it right down the third base line.
Phegley with his 7th double, 10th RBI. Now Sogard will bat. 5 of the 7 hits for Oakland. Devils. This one's down low for ball 1. First appearance for Pedroia since Wednesday in Arizona. 1 inning in Napa. Two balls, 1 strike. Three and 1 now to the 9th place hitter. A 3-run 6th inning for Oakland. Sogard lines one to left, a base hit. Fegley waved around. Navarro comes up and firing. The throw to the plate is in time.
What a perfect throw.
Bob Melvin will sure check it out down in the clubhouse, but a good throw by Efrain Navarro. The call on the field is out.
That's a difficult throw for a left-handed throwing left fielder.
And he is out, so a nice play by Efrain Navarro, but the damage done as Oakland strikes for 3 runs. 6 complete here at the Coliseum. You get a chance to take a look at that throw again. It's 4-1 Oakland.
He charged that well on a perfect throw and a great tag by Carlos Perez. Eric Ibar, a good piece of hitting on a curveball, base hit up the middle, scoring. Mike Trout at that point tying up the game. But then Oakland coming right back at the bottom of the 6th. A good piece hit by Reddick going the other way for a double. Brett Lawrie got a break ball out over the plate. He doubles to left center field as part of a 3-run bottom of the 6th for Oakland. They take the lead this one now 4-1.
Bottom third of the order, Joyce, Kibitz, and Perez for the Angels here in the 7th, facing Jesse Hahn. Joyce rolls one to Brett Lawrie. Off balance throw, and Ike Davis bobbles it, so that'll be an error on Brett Lawrie. As Joyce will reach to start the 7th.
12th error.
And he had time to kind of set his feet. He was playing at the cut of the grass.
I think like Davis wasn't real happy with himself not picking that either. But a little bit of a bobble and a low throw, unable to scoop it. Lawrie getting that error now. 34 errors on that side of the infield for Oakland. 12 for Brett Lawrie, 22 for Simi.
Their 70th error. And now Kibitsa will bat here. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Remember, walks and errors last night in the 7th inning became a big part of the game and a big part of the storyline for the Angels' comeback.
Two balls and no strikes. On at 91 pitches, has 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. And has limited the Angels to 4 hits. Two balls and a strike. They were down 5 yesterday, going into the 7th. It unraveled for Sonny Gray and the A's. So they need some magic once again this afternoon. A 3-run 6th inning for Oakland, snapping the 1-1 tie.
Kibitz had a tough time this whole game against Jesse Hahn. Pulling that front shoulder off the baseball. That swing. Creating that movement from Hahn on the outside part of the plate. He's pulling off the snuff of that front shoulder, not able to make good contact. I think in terms of driving it the other way.
Breaking ball, and it's a backdoor breaking ball. Gets him looking. 1 out.
Break a ball on the outside part of the plate. You see all those pitches, except for one, everything was on the outer half of the plate or off that outside corner. And pulling that front shoulder just enough, it's creating that difficult task of making contact with something away for Kibitsa today.
Carlos is 0 for 2 with a ground down and a strikeout. Another foul. And it is 0 2. Top of the order, and Efren Navarro on deck. Credit Hahn, who's put himself in some situations, especially early on in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Made some quality pitches to get himself out of it. Eric Ibar tied things up in the 6th inning with a base hit, scored Trout.
You know, one thing about him, even when he gets in trouble, he doesn't have that home run in him. Keeps the ball in the yard, so if you keep the ball on the ground, chances are you're going to get it at an infielder and they can make a play for you.
Ground ball to short. Simeon feeds Sogard, the relay back in time, 2nd straight inning, an inning-ending double play. 7th inning stretch time here at the Coliseum. Oakland leading it come celebrate Christmas in June when the Halos take on the Mariners at 7:05. And that is coming up next Friday. The Big A will be transformed into a winter wonderland with Christmas decorations, live reindeer in our music garden, and a special visit by Santa. Purchase tickets today at angels.com or by swinging by the stadium box office.
Seriously, Clark?
Seriously, Clark. Swinging bunt, and now it goes an infield base hit for Billy Burns. He's got 5 infield hits in the first 2 games. His 21st of the season. That one a swinging bunt.
Yeah, and he's playing in what he does best, is putting the ball in play and utilizing his speed. And it looked like he beat it out. Good speed going down the line once again for Burns. Drozen did all he could. A firm throw to first base.
They made a 1-for-3 game with a double and a run scored in the first. Tardy on the fastball. Cesar Ramos getting ready now for the Angels. Fastball again, 0-2. Foul tipped into the mid. Down goes Simeon. There's the first down here in the 7th.
Cam's done a nice job of varying his times to the plate, allowing Burns to get an opportunity to steal. Now Mike Soch is going to bring a lefty in.
With Steven Vogt due up, a pitching change here in the 7th inning. Man at first base. The Angels down 4-1. Mike Socha goes to the bullpen to bring on Cesar Ramos. We'll take a look at the MLB scoreboard. Mentioned earlier that Baltimore and White Sox won. Cubs ended up winning in 10 innings. Max Scherzer, who had a perfect game the last time out against the Milwaukee Brewers. Carlos Gomez ended up getting 1 hit. It was a 1-hitter for him. Has come back out in his next start. He's gone perfect.
That's
through
amazing.
8.
That is amazing.
And Danny Espinosa with a fantastic play in the 8th inning with the overshift for an out in that 8th inning to keep that perfect game intact. Does he have 2 complete games in his career?
Yeah, 2 in his career. Was it Vandermeer who had back-to-back? Is that his name? He
Yeah,
had the
Johnny
back-to-back
Vandermeer.
no-hitters. Scherzer with an opportunity. Let's see the Ramos on the mound. It's a pretty solid job. 2.37. Almost had a chance at back-to-back perfect games.
Those guys went out to shallow right field. Giavotella goes racing back. Cole Calhoun has to take control. Can't get there. It falls in there. And the way Giavotella was going after it, either one, he didn't see it, or he thought that ball was a little bit closer to the infield than he initially assumed. Burns ends up at second. So instead of the second out, you've got first and second with 1 out.
A couple of frustrated looks. One from Mike Scioscia, even Cole Calhoun. You can see how far Cole's got to go.
Now batting left fielder, number 18.
Talking a long, long run.
Zobrist.
I don't think he saw it.
No. And it's tough as far as Cole had to run, especially with all that movement in his head and his shoulders, to be able to track that baseball from that distance.
Well, and he's playing deeper
Yes.
because Vogt is at the
And
plate.
Cole, the pole.
Zobrist spins around, hit from the right side, takes ball 1. The ace left fielder 0 for 3. Off the plate, 2-0. Burns at second, Vogt at first. 3 balls and no strikes. Runners take off, at least Burns does, and it's a stolen base. Doesn't matter, it was ball 4. So it's not a stolen base. They're loaded up.
That's a pretty odd time to go.
Yep. Vogt didn't go anywhere. He stayed at first base.
And I think that's what you should be doing. Because the point is, on a 3-0 pitch, if it's called a strike and you could throw him out, that's a huge lift for the team. That's not the right count to go.
Running for Zobrist, number 23, Sam Ball.
Sam Fold takes over as the pinch runner.
Now batting right
Ben
fielder,
Zobrist.
Josh Reddick.
This one back up the middle. Ramos knocks it down. Burns thought it wasn't the bases loaded. He broke back to third. And they get the force down at home for the second out.
Yeah, fortunately enough, he's not going right away. I mean, that would make a difficult play. Allowed Ramos to be under control and make a good throw. Making sure he's okay. Releases the baseball. And Reddick hits it right back up the middle. Knocks down. Good throw to home. Plenty of time to get the force out.
So 2 outs, base is still loaded. And Billy Butler is going to pinch hit here for Ike Davis.
It's a line drive. You have to freeze as a runner. Line drive, he's kind of knocked it down. Ramos under control, gets the play. You really can't fault Billy Burns on that one. You have to freeze there, especially with the bases loaded. Knocks it down, but then a perfect throw to the plate.
First one's down and in. Butler hitting .256 on the season, 5 home runs and 32 RBIs. He is 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter.
Tells you that Bob Melvin's trying to get the knockout punch, taking out a better defender at first base. For a guy who's hit the ball well in these situations than Billy Butler.
Butler pulls one foul. This is 1-2. Mike Davis finishes the afternoon going 0 for 3. Ramos trying to keep this a 3-run deficit. Butler a swing and a miss, and the inning is over. The A's leave them loaded. We'll head to the 8th. The Angels trailing at 4-1.
Are trailing the A's 4-1. I'm Alex Curry, and stick around after the game for Angels Live with Jose Mota and myself. We'll get some player reaction here from Mike Scioscia, but one of the things we talked about in the pregame show was the Angels needing to shut down Billy Burns and Stephen Vogt. Neither of them wasted any time. Burns with 2 hits on the day, both infield hits, and Stephen Vogt also not wasting any time with his RBI double and getting on base all 4 times he's been up. And Jared Weaver looking like he made some adjustments after the first inning, but unable to hold it up in the 6th. So we'll break down this pitching matchup. Victor?
Thanks a lot, Alex. Here in the 8th inning, it's the top of the order for the Angels. Navarro, Calhoun, and Trout. Jesse Hahn still on the mound. The Angels down 4-1. And for Navarro, 0 for 3. Fly ball left and a couple of ground downs. Oakland begins action in their bullpen. Looks like Tyler Clippard getting ready.
Very similar to the at bat against Kibitz. The first 2 pitches off the outside corner for balls, and then he tried to sneak one in the inner half. Did it again, the same pattern.
Sharply hit to second. Sogard has it. One down.
Back to my Hyundai key for this game for the Angels to be successful today. And train kept it rolling, hoping that offense was continue to swing the bat well. Back-to-back games, especially multi-run innings, has not been the case so far. But the part of the lineup right now with Cole coming up and Trout and Pujols to follow, you can get those runs. As of now, Hahn has done a great job of limiting the amount of base runners and opportunities for the Angels.
Cole 1 for 3 with a single in the third. And just once in this game, the Angels have had their leadoff man get on board, and that was Matt Joyce on the air by Brett Lawrie in the seventh. Congrats to Max Scherzer on picking up a no-hitter. Had a perfect game with 2 strikes, 2 outs in the ninth, and hit Jose Tabata. This one up the middle with the overshift, though. Simeon's got it. 2 outs. That's a tough way to lose a perfect game on a hit by pitch.
Yeah, my son was texting me back and forth because he was watching that game along with our game back in L.A. and he said he might have leaned out over the plate to get hit with that pitch. But I don't know if you're going to lean out over the plate against Scherzer too often.
96, 97?
Yeah. You're not get down the first base too comfortably if that's the case.
He ends up getting the no-hitter. And again, that play, if you get a chance to watch it, by Danny Espinosa, just to keep the perfect game intact in the 8th inning was fantastic.
So back-to-back complete games. This one a no-hitter for Scherzer.
1 hit allowed in 2 games.
That's pretty much locked in, don't you think?
Yeah. That's getting your money's worth.
No question.
Trout 1 for 2 with a ground out, a walk, and a single. Scored the only run the Angels put on the board in the 6th inning of the base hit by Ibar.
Yeah, 18 innings pitched, 26 punch-outs combined in those 2 games for Scherzer, with 1 hit allowed.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, what fun is that? Isn't it fun is trying to slither your way through an inning with some base runners?
2-2. What Crash Davis said besides strikeouts are fascist.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's why I like those base runners. Looking for that triple play every inning to get me through the inning.
2-2 from Hahn. And that is it tight. Full count. Pujols on deck. Tyler Clippard ready to go.
Most pitches Hahn has thrown in a game this year, and this complete game he had 112.
And he walked him. That's the 4th walk, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Bob Melvin pull Hahn. He felt after the game and even today talking about last night that he waited too long to take Sonny Gray out. Here comes Melvin now. Pujols due up. And he is going to go to the bullpen. So a pitching change here in the 8th inning. Hahn goes 7 2/3. The Angels with a man on, down 4-1. Man has been closing games for the Athletics with Sean Doolittle on the disabled list. Clipper 10 saves on the year, 1-3 mark in the 2.96 ERA. This will be his 28th game. 26 strikeouts, but 14 walks and 27 1/3. A terrific off-speed pitch. He's got a good changeup. He comes on with 2 outs here with Trout standing at first base and Albert coming to the plate. Pujols 0 for 2 with a ground down, a fly ball to center, and a walk.
Albert Pujols.
Halos looking for a little miracle here in the 8th and 9th innings, as they got last night. Albert looks at a strike. Albert in his career 2 for 4 against Clippers with a home run. Halos have managed just 4 hits today. Jesse Hahn responsible for Trout standing at first. 4 strikeouts, 4 walks in those 4 hits in 7 2/3.
With an excellent changeup.
Evens up the count. Oakland with a run in the first inning. The Angels tied it in the 6th. RBI single by Trout, but then at the bottom of the 6th inning, Oakland scored 3 runs on 5 hits, chasing Jared Weaver. All 3 of those runs charged to Jared. Made it what the score is right now, 4-1. Weaver 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 punch outs, 1 walk. Ibar on deck. Clippers 1-1. High fastball challenge. Albert comes up empty. It's 1-2.
But with Albert, the way he's been hitting the baseball, you don't mind him expanding the strike zone because he's trying to hit a 2-run home run. Pull the Angels within 1. 20 home runs this year for Pujols, leading the American League in that category.
Max Muncy playing first base. Billy Butler pinch hit for Mike Davis, so Muncy taking over at first. One ball, 2 strikes. Albert, skies went out to shallow right. Reddick comes in. And dealing with that sunshine, puts it away as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Oakland still leading at 4-1. Sogard for the Oakland A's facing Cesar Ramos. He got the last 2 outs of the 7th inning. Back out there now. Brett Lawrie 1 for 3 with an RBI double and a run scored. We're looking to strike. Ramos took over for Bedrosian in the 7th inning. Cam ended up going 2/3 of an inning, allowed 3 hits, 1 strikeout, no runs. Chopper up the middle. Giavotella off balance throw, and he gets Lawrie by just a half a step for the first out. Oh no, now they're saying that Albert bobbled the baseball. Chris Siegel saying Albert did not. Albert's saying that he lost it on the transfer.
He had to throw it around the infield. That's what Albert's saying. And they're going to look in. Let's see right here. Ball in the glove.
Yeah,
that's on the transfer.
That's an out.
Yes.
Ball's in the glove, securely in the glove.
And then as he takes his foot off the base, they throw it around the infield.
Right.
That's got to be.
Well, they're going to review it. Jim Joyce and Chris Siegel. Unless there's an angle from down the right field line, which is where Siegel was essentially positioned, where he saw movement of the baseball in the glove the entire way.
Let's see right here. This is the angle he's at.
That glove,
the ball's
is closed.
Yeah, and he's taking the ball out.
That should be.
If he's calling a bobble,
correct.
Unless the only thing he could have originally called is his foot off the base or something, but he didn't call that. He's calling on the bobble.
Right. That should be an out.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Yankees are challenging the call on the field with the runner for safe.
That ball is secure in the glove.
Yeah, there's no question.
And Albert's doing, I mean, otherwise this would be the second error of the game for Albert. He only has 1 all year. Ball in the glove, foot off the base, thinking about throwing the ball around the infield, then fumbles the baseball. There's no doubt.
At the start of last year, that was a safe call in the outfield. Remember, the whole transfer rule got had to be kind of reworked.
I mean, he's getting that baseball to whip it around the infield.
Rule going into last season was that a transfer had to be clean in order for the catch to be confirmed. We saw that early on. I think it was Josh Hamilton, right, in left field.
I know
Towards the beginning of last year, that call got overruled out there because he dropped the baseball on the transfer.
Exactly. I know the commissioner was in the clubhouse yesterday having a conversation with the Angel players, and I'm sure Mike Scioscia talked to him about a number of things, including instant replay.
It's certainly taking a long time for this.
I don't understand it, though.
Same here.
Baseball in the glove.
The problem is, Gooby, the call on the field is safe.
Yeah.
So you need a definitive view to overturn that call. I don't know what's more definitive than a ball being squeezed by the fielder. Headsets are off, and he is out.
That's what we thought. Real nice play by Giavotella on that play also.
Yeah, the call's overturned. Now, look, I understand what Siegel is saying. If you see the ball going into a glove on a force out and the ball's moving the entire way and you see a fielder try to corral that baseball as he comes off the bag, that's a bobble.
Yes.
But if that ball is squarely in the webbing of the glove, as that one was, how can you call a... How can you... You're right there. It was a transfer.
Yeah. I mean, he's just basically stepping off the base and throwing it around the infield.
So the call gets overturned, and Josh Phegley will bat here. 1 out, nobody on. That did take a long time.
So they had to make sure they had enough evidence, I guess, because they had to overturn the call. But we thought it was pretty easy to make that call.
Fegley 1 for 3, an RBI double. He fouls this one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. 10 hits today for Oakland. They had 11 hits yesterday. So I told you they've been swinging the bats, especially here in this ballpark.
I mean, they can hit and they can score runs, and their starting pitching has been good, as it was again today. Their defense and their bullpen, different story.
Two balls and a strike. The double for Fegley, the catcher, 6th inning, his 7th of the year, picked up his 10th RBI. That was off of Bedrosian, but unfortunately for Jared Weaver, it brought in the 4th run that he got charged with. 3-1. Full count. And he walked him. So a 1-out walk here in the 8th, and we'll bring up Eric Sogard.
Now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco. Well done by Efren Navarro. Charges a base hit into left field, but a perfect throw to the plate. Carlos Perez flies the tag to Fegley out of the plate. What a perfect throw from Efren Navarro. Remember, again, a first baseman who has been playing left field the last couple of seasons for the Angels, has done a very good job defensively and a good, strong, accurate throwing arm.
First one down low on Sogard, and Ramos falls behind here. 1 ball, no strikes. Sogard, the second baseman, 1 for 3. Handles in the 9th, by the way. You have Ibar, Giavotella, Joyce to face Clippard. Top of the order, Billy Burns on deck. He had the 5 infield hits in the first 2 games of the series. This is out to right, a hanging breaking ball. Sogard picks up his 2nd hit. And 1st and 2nd with 1 out, and here comes Burns. Burns has hit 1 ball out of the infield. As in the 8th inning last night, a fly ball to left.
Billy Burns.
Two for 4 today. 21 infield hits. The one that he picked up in the 7th. A bunt base hit, just the 3rd bunt base hit he has had this year as he spins around here from the right side. 1st and 2nd and 1 down. Kubica playing in at 3rd. Ramos gets ahead. Fernando Salas looks like he's going to start playing catch the pen. That is out to left. Playable for Navarro. 2 outs. Base runners hold. Marcus Semien, the shortstop, coming up.
Burns hit that one pretty good. On the line, but right at Navarro in left field.
Marcus Semien.
Carlos Perez going out there. This might be the stall here to get Salas in the game to face Semien. Social looking down. Good Greg Gibson to break up the meeting.
Social looking down there just to wait and see. Signal from Steve Solis. The hat tip, and there it is.
Yeah, here comes Social. Sure enough, that's all it was. So with the right-handed batter coming up, Ramos is done here with 2 outs in the 8th and a 4-1 Oakland lead. Abby Wambach and Megan Rapinoe and Team USA continue their quest for 3rd title to take on Colombia in a win-or-go-home matchup for both teams. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports 1 and catch the whole tournament streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Colombia had that big upset in France.
Yep, I believe you're right. Fernando Salas threw 1 pitch yesterday, got Zobus to ground out and picked up the win when the Angels scored the 8 runs in the 7th. Has to come in here and get the last out of the 8th. Keep this a 3-run deficit. Semien is 1 for 4. He doubled and scored in the 1st. This one's lifted in the air.
Oh, there's the magic.
On the first base side, pulls into foul territory. Makes the catch.
Can he do it again?
Back-to-back days, 1 pitch. Go ahead and shower up, Fernando. I know it's been a rough couple of days for you. We head to the 9th.
Gotta believe in magic.
Halos have Ibar, Giamatella, and Joyce coming up down 3. Got the last out of the 8th inning. He's back out of the bump here in the 9th. The Angels have Eric Ibar, Johnny Giavotella, and Matt Joyce as the scheduled 3 batters here in the 9th. See if they've got some magic left in them. Just 4 hits this afternoon. All 4 of them singles. Giavotella, Calhoun, Trout, and Ibar. Eric 1 for 3 with that RBI single in the 6th inning, picking up his 21st RBI.
Need to get an opportunity to get those guys back up in this inning, the top of the order. Some base runners.
Count even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Push bunt on the third base side goes foul.
Brett Lawrie was going to make sure that baseball was foul. All the way into the A's dugout.
One ball, 2 strikes. Almost got there to chase. And it's only been 2 batters for Clippard, but more fastballs than I think we've seen from him this year.
Yeah, generally you see a lot of changeups from him. Tried to run that 2-seam fastball, catch to the inside corner to stay true, just off the inside corner. Have been away, down against Ibar so far. There's his changeup.
Full count now.
Kind of guided that one. Ertz trying to get on base here. A little stress on this bullpen, which has not been real good for Oakland this year.
Bullpen ERA at 4.61 to 3.2. Ibar chops it on the ground to second. 1 down.
Now batting, number 12, Johnny Giavotella.
And Giavotella will come up now. Back on the air tomorrow, 1 o'clock first pitch. Garrett Richards on the mound for the Angels. Scott Kazmir, lefty, you'll see his make his first appearance against the Angels this season. One ball, no strikes. Giavotella had a base hit back in the second. Is 1 for 3.
Garrett. Should be a real good pitching matchup tomorrow.
One. Kazmir's thrown the ball well for Oakland as well.
It's that part of the play where Greg Gibson has called a lot of strikes. No, when we look at our Fox tracks up here, that ball is off the inside corner with his changeup.
He's been consistent with it, though. That's all you can ask for.
Now that part of the plate he hasn't called, and that was a pretty good pitch.
This one will reach the seats, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Angels came into today's action looking to make it 3 in a row and keep the offense rolling. But, they ran into Jesse Honda, who limited the Angels to 4 hits with 7 2/3. Even though he issued 4 walks. Foul.
The opponents coming into the game against Hahn, we're hitting 239. And he keeps the ball in the yard, doesn't give up many big flies. It's 3 the entire season. Covered 84 and 2/3 innings pitched. A lot of the offense for the Angels been predicated around the home run ball.
Halo's now 5th in that category in the American League with 71 home runs. But none today. Another 2-2. And, rather defensive swing, but he keeps his at-bat alive.
He's smiling. I'm sure some guys were really giving him a lot of high praise about that swing.
The old telephone booth swing. Full count. Joyce on deck. If we get any further, Kyle Kubica.
On that one. Pretty good at bat for Johnny.
Another foul. Yet another 3-2. Vitello, yet another foul ball. Great battle here between these two. This one off the end of the bat. That might sneak through, and that'll go as a base hit.
Billy Burns out in center field probably going, hey, that's been one of my hits in this series so far.
That's a great swing.
Yes. Way to square it up.
A prolonged at bat results in a single, second hit of the afternoon for Giavitello.
Pretty good pitch.
Number 20.
Talk about getting off the end of the bat.
Joyce.
And well placed for that base hit for Giavitello.
Joyce 0 for 2 with a walk.
Change up. Upper part of the strike zone and away.
Hit by Johnny, the 5th single for the Angels. At least it gives Clippard something to think about here. Joyce pops it up. Simeon backing up. 2 outs. Well, the Angels down to the last out here, and Kyle Kubica will come up, and he's had a rough afternoon. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Kyle Kubica.
Muncy playing behind Giavotella at first with a lefty out. Kyle lays off the changeup, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. One run, 5 hits, 1 error. Halos have stranded 6. Oakland with 4 runs, 11 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've stranded 10.
2 change-ups in a row. Just looking for a base hit here from Kubica. David Freese a chance to come up and tie the game up with 1 swing if you get on base if you're Kubica.
Freese out of the on-deck circle. 1-2 now. Clippard ready. Giavotella with a big lead. He's going to take off here. The 1-2. Kyle drives one out to right field. Reddick back a couple of steps. And Oakland takes game 2 by the final of 4-1. Although no Angels home runs were hit in this game, the home run challenge continues through Father's Day. Make your pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org.
I think the big story of Jesse Hahn threw the ball exceptionally well after the Angels with their momentum they had. You thought going into this game, definitely had that good sinker working. Just enough offense, some doubles working for the A's hitters, especially those 3 runs they had back in the 6th inning after the Angels title was enough for them to win the game 4-1. Reddick with a good at-bat, vote same thing again today against the Angels.
Jared Weaver takes the loss while Hahn picks up the victory. Clippard notches a save. Oakland takes game 2, 4-1 the final. Stick around. Angels Live postgame is coming up next.